Hello? Hi. Hey, there you go. Okay, here we are. Here we are. Are we here actually? Okay, I think I am. Okay, so let me get myself set up. Cause what? Uh, ooh, um, Give me 1 second. Uh, okay, computer. Let me close a bunch of windows that I have over here. There you go. And this stuff, well, I need to finish something here. Uh, there you go. That goes over there. And okay, am I here? Am I fully present? Do I have some coffee? I'm not doing coffee today. I'm doing tea because I already had 2 coffees, and you know how I get when I drink too much coffee. It gets a little out of control. Alrighty, are we good? I think so. Okay, let's do this. Three, two, one. Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Jose Luis, and if you are new to the channel, this is Parametric Camp. We do computational design tutorials, we do live streams, most Friday mornings, Eastern US time, which is where I live. I live in Boston. Well, technically, I live in Cambridge, Massachusetts, but I don't know if you've ever seen the map. They're basically one large metropolis. And yes, so today, and we typically go live at 9 a.m. my time or 10 a.m. my time, but right now it's 11 a.m. my time because I had meetings this morning. So, and I actually was not gonna stream, but then I was like, yeah, you know what? I miss the community, so why not just do this, right? So, yes, so sorry. We record tutorials, we do it live streams, we do live streams, and then we edit them, and then we publish them as individual tutorials or playlists, as small courses. Then if you want to know when we go live, it's pretty much every Friday morning my time. But if you want to know more, we are pretty active on social media, especially on Discord. We have a Discord that you can join, and then we have offline conversations throughout the week. The link to the Discord is in the description of this video. And also we have a Google Calendar that you can subscribe to, and you will get a notification on event whenever we go live. Okay, the link to that Google Calendar is also in the description of this video. So that's the boilerplate. So I see some comments. ICB, hello. Could you guide the live stream through tutorial on setting up a Speckle server locally? Actually, interesting that you say that, because I did on the last live stream. We went through installing deploying locally a bunch of LLMs locally on a computer using the OLLAMA framework. So I haven't really talked on the channel about how to create a server from scratch, but actually I should, because it's actually something that I teach a lot in my courses here at the university. So it would make for really good offline material for my classes. So maybe I do that at some point, maybe. And the thing with Speckle is that I'm hearing more and more about it, but I haven't played with it. I have zero experience with Speckle. So, but I could show you how to create a server locally. And actually, as we speak about this, my intention for this live stream today was to test out and to try out different ways of creating tunneling. And what is tunneling? Tunneling is basically a technique to connect a server that you're running locally and make it accessible globally in the internet for other computers to connect to. All right, I will explain why is that a thing, or why is it important, or why doing that, why do we need a tunneling solution to do that. I will get into that in this live stream, okay? But I guess today we're going to focus on the idea of connecting to a server that was running locally. So if you're able to put together a Speckle server, actually, let me do some Googling since we are together right now. What is this? How to create a local Speckle server. Deploying Speckle server with one click and Docker. And it's a 1 hour. Well, I guess the video is here, right? Speckle server setup tutorial DigitalOcean. Ah, for DigitalOcean. How to build a full stack web app using Speckle with Schmidt. Speckle, local development environment, Speckle guide, deploy your own Speckle server. You ever wanted to run Speckle? Good news, DevDocs, we can help. DevDocs. All right, deprecated. Deploying a server on DigitalOcean. As of April, Speckle has deprecated DigitalOcean. We instead recommend following our deployment guide, user Docker Compose. What is Docker Compose? We offer a free server that you can use straight away. Canvas, whatever, pricing. Okay, I really don't know any of this, but we can perhaps take a look at this at some point. Honestly, I've heard so much about Speckle, but I don't even know what Speckle is really, or I mean, I know it's some kind of like coordination framework for BIM and blah blah blah, but I don't really know a use case for Speckle. The Speckle web app, connectors. Yeah, I guess you're modeling something and it gets connected, and you know, well, we can probably figure out. I actually have a colleague that I met recently from EPFL who's very good and very knowledgeable of Speckle, so maybe we could invite him to the channel and give a tutorial. I don't know. Speckle is like Git with a geometry engine. That's kind of what I figure. Like you make changes and then it gets coordinated across. It's usually the server and then it gets coordinated across different local. Right? What you're doing today actually maybe along the same lines since we're mentioning it. Thank you for advanced development of Grasshopper. Anytime, BD Syria. I don't know that we've met before, but pleasure to see you. Victor, how are we doing? How is that doctorate? How is that PhD going? Are we close? Are we writing? What's happening? Oof, that was hot. I burned myself. Oh. Ow. Ew, that was a lot. Okay, so tunneling, all right? So what are we doing? I just want today might be more of an exploratory thing. I don't know. So let's get into the basics. So what are we doing today? Today I want to explore tunneling, all right? And tunneling, it's basically this idea that maybe there's some kind of diagram that I can use to explain the concept. Tunneling, yeah, not physical tunneling. We're not going to do infrastructure, no. Maybe this is a good diagram. Maybe this is a good I guess this could be a good diagram. So let's put it this way. Let's imagine you have a server that you're running locally on your machine, at your house, on a laptop, on a desktop computer, on a Raspberry Pi, whatever you, right? And this server serves whatever. It might serve a website. It might serve an API for machine learning. It might be a Speckle server. So maybe it's a server that's designed for people to connect and to coordinate the BIM model, whatever that is, right? But the important part is that it's running on your machine locally in your home or at your office or somewhere that is domestic. It's like a small local network, something that is not a cloud infrastructure, all right? However, you want to make that server accessible to computers that are not on the local network, right? And then what happens is that when you have a local network, that local network is typically protected from the exterior, from the cloud, the internet, whatever, by firewalls, protections, etc., etc. And what also happens is that that local network, all the machines in that local network, they typically have different IPs so that the machines can talk to each other. But when they all go into the outside, into the world network, they all share the same IP because your router is the one that is doing the package redirection. And therefore, if you had an external client, right, saying, I want to access from a different computer in a different part of the world, I want to access the service that is running on one of the machines in this local network, then it's kind of tricky because you would have to point to first, the only thing you have is the IP, the public IP of that local network. So you could ping or you could access that public IP. But the public IP may actually change if your network is your home or your office. These typical small local networks don't have a fixed static public IP. So that's already a problem. And the other problem is that you have to configure on your local network the router to do some kind of port forwarding, where if it gets an external request from a particular port, the router may need to know that that port needs to be redirected to some other IP in the local network with some other port, etc. So it turns out that it's kind of tricky because your public IP changes typically, and at the same time, because you do have to configure your local network, and many of the off-the-shelf domestic local routers that we use at home may not have that option, or if it does, it's kind of tricky, right? So the idea is that basically the problem that we're trying to solve is I have a service running in a local machine, and I want to make it accessible some way from the outside in an easy way, right? Without having to configure my local network and without having to rely on IPs that are fluctuating around the world, all right? So that's where tunneling as a solution comes in. Tunneling is basically a way to use some third-party server, all right, to make that connection between the server that is running locally and between any client that wants to connect to that server. So let's say that an external client wants to connect to my local service. If I configure my local service to be accessible via this proxy server that lives on the cloud, and then this proxy server has a URL that is always the same, and then the client, instead of looking for my IP, just goes to that proxy server, and the proxy server bounces my request to the server, the local one, and the local server bounces the request back to the proxy and back to the client, then we're basically using a middle server, if you will, that lives somewhere on the cloud and that bounces the requests back and forth. And this proxy server is solving the problem of communicating between the local server and the proxy, because you will still have the same problem in this connection, right? But the proxy server uses a tunneling solution, or in other words, it creates this dynamic configuration between the server and the proxy that is independent of the configuration that you have locally and is independent of the IP of your local network, okay? So that was kind of a... is there any other diagram that is a little better? I guess, I mean, I don't know about this one. I don't know about this one. Was the concept clear? What about these bunny programmers? I don't know. Anyway, so long story short, this is very useful if, for example, I have a local server running on my computer and I want to make it accessible. For example, this happens to me all the time. I have machine learning models that I have running in my computer with some kind of complicated anaconda environment with dependencies, blah, blah, blah. Configuring this to live somewhere on the cloud is actually tedious, and then it costs money to have a DigitalOcean instance running on the cloud. The instances that you can buy for this money are pretty bad for machine learning, right? So they're not powerful computers. So sometimes just for prototyping. This is not good for production. This is just good for prototyping and for small projects. Having them locally, it's quite interesting, right? I'm writing, but still some ways off. Maybe a good idea to clarify the difference between reverse tunneling, reverse proxy, port forwarding, VPA. Yeah, I mean, we could, yes, but then I would be kind of writing a small PhD on client-server communication. Uh, yes, so I want to try, good point, Victor. I want to try ngrok. I want to try Cloudflare, and I want to try Visual Studio Code also comes with a quick tunneling solution that I want to try out. So, and if you actually, Victor, if you're around, it would be awesome to have you around so that when I set up a tunnel, you can try it on your end and see if you can communicate and access the solution. So today, what I want to do is I want to try solutions that are out there for tunneling, see which one is easier, which one is faster, which one is cheaper, you know, and what are the conditions, because I'm actually building a project that is going to require some of this tunneling. And I thought it would be a good experiment to do today. It's probably going to be, hopefully it's going to be easy and fast. Okay. So if any of you, this is going to be pretty collaborative because I'm going to need, I mean, I can try it locally, but I'm going to need also external people to test the connections to my machines. So, yes. So if you are connected and you want to follow along and try things out, make sure you ping me on the chat and you offer your help. And at the same time, I will be posting pieces of code and requests that we can do on the live channel in our Discord server. Remember, we have a Discord server, we have a live channel where we typically communicate when we are doing live stuff, right? So let's do that. So first of all, let's start by creating a simple local server. So I'm going to open a terminal here, and then I'm going to use, I have a node, I'm a node user. So if you don't know Node, I'm going to ask you to make sure that you have Node.js installed. It's a JavaScript engine. So just install the long-term 2022 version. I should actually update mine. I did have nvm list. Yeah, I need to update. nvm install 22. Not for ARM. Okay. The version can be a specific version, latest from the latest version, LTS. So nvm install LTS 2022, etc. Yes. So I'm going to actually install the latest version myself. So nvm. What's going on? I'm still installing. Okay. So, all right. So because I have Node installed, I can very easily go ahead and, for example, I'm going to create here a test server, right? I'm going to open here. All right. I'm going to open, for example, see desktop and then test server, and I'm going to create an index.html. And here I'm going to write hello pcampers, for example, right? So what does this mean? Now I can open a browser, and if I drop, oh, where am I? Here. And if I drop that index file into my browser, I see a simple web page. Okay. Now, what I can do is, with my test server, I can do the following. I can, for example, write, have I finished installing? No. nvm list, yes. So nvm on enable nvm use 22. and now nvm list. Okay, so now I'm running Node version 22. Okay, cool. So I'm on my desktop, I'm on my test server. So now because I have Node installed, and again, all of this I'm just trying things out. I will, however, if things go well and I like a particular solution, I will make a video where I explain everything a bit more calm. But right now I'm just testing things out. So I'm going to start a quick server using npx, all right, and the module serve, all right. What does that mean? It means that I am allowing access to Node.js. You see, this is my local IP. Actually, my local IP or my public IP? What is my public IP? What is my public? Wait. What is my public IP right now? Detecting 174. Yeah, I don't know what IP this is. And this is not my local network IP, I think. Right? IP config. Yeah, no, it isn't. The Ethernet. Oh, VMW? Is it picking up VMware? Yeah, it's picking up the VMware. Okay, that is weird. Anyway, doesn't matter. What that basically says is that now that I have a server running locally, okay, I can go here to localhost 3000, and then you can see that I get my website, and I also get this message like someone connected, blah, blah, blah. Where are you folks? Yes, here. Because I have this local IP, this one here in my system. What that means is that I can also substitute localhost with that local IP and still works well. Okay, so I get another, right? Yeah. But now, here's the thing. If I wanted this website to be accessed by someone like you guys from the outside world, you guys cannot type here in your browser this IP because this is my local IP. But if you try to use my public IP, which is this one, for example, right? For example, I'm going to try to use it. If you are trying to use it, it doesn't work because you're basically finding me in the world through my public IP, but my router doesn't know that when an incoming request with their public IP is coming, that request should be redirected to the computer that I'm using right now. If you configure your router to do what's called port forwarding, then the problem is solved. But the problem is that this IP here might change tomorrow or might change whatever. So if I want this service to be slightly more permanent, I would need to keep updating my friends or my colleagues who want to use this with my IP as my IP changes when Xfinity, who is my provider, decides to just reset my IP, right? It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. So what is the solution? The solution is tunneling, all right? So how does that work? So for example, the first thing we're going to try is Visual Studio does have a solution for tunneling. So let me go here and then here where you have ports. Actually, I don't know how to access this. Go to file view, problems, output, debug console, whatever. I have this option here called ports. All right. What this does is Visual Studio is a service, is a program that is run by Microsoft. So Microsoft does have tunneling solutions. So from Visual Studio, if you have a GitHub account, I believe I tried this the other day, you can forward your ports to here with Visual Studio Code just with a one click. So for example, I'm going to forward a port and I'm going to say the port that I want to forward in my computer is 3000. Okay, so then you have a thing here this connected basically to some kind of service called devtunnels, devtunnels.ms. I guess you can. So devtunnels. What are devtunnels? Developers, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, okay. So what that means is that if you now go to this, no, if you now go to this address, for example, here, if you now go to this address, it's going to ask you to log in. I'm actually going to log in through my other, okay, connecting to the port. Yes, and because here I am logged into GitHub, it has redirected. So I'm going to copy and paste this on the chat. I don't know if you can see it, but can any of you confirm that if you go to this address here, you are going to see, if you go to this address, you're going to, and I will probably get a notification here if someone connects. Otherwise, I'm going to copy it also on the live channel here on Discord. Can anyone confirm that if you do that, you actually get to this website, Hello P Campers? All right. You don't have the user rights to view this page? Can you send a screenshot of that over Discord, Victor? I guess I can do it because it's me, right? Because I logged in with my own account. Huh, interesting. So running process, visibility is private. Can I change? Change port visibility. Okay, now it's public. You're about to create it publicly. Anyone on the internet will be able to access. You should only proceed if the service is secure and non-sensitive. Okay, continue. All right, so I changed it to public. Victor, can we try again? I'm gonna try actually from Chrome. You're about to connect to a tunnel. Yes, yes. All right, so I got it. I think it's only for your own account. Yes, but now that I've changed it to public, it should be accessible to everyone. And yeah, it works now. And I see your, can you refresh so that we see it here? Here, Victor? Nice. And if I refresh, yep, yep. Beautiful. So just to clarify, I want to make sure that we understand that even though I am on my own machine, oh, someone tried to connect and was not given permission. And someone connected and they're given permission now. Yes. So even though I am on my own machine and I could have direct access to this local server that I just created, right? Even though that is the case, because I have because I am using this tunnel, what's happening is that I am going with my browser, I'm going to the tunnel. The tunnel is pinging the proxy server, and then the proxy server is pointing back to me here on my computer. Okay, so this is basically tunneling with a one click using Visual Studio Code, which is pretty convenient. Okay, so the only drawback is that now I have to keep Visual Studio open. Is that correct? So what if I close this? If I close this, do I still get? No, it looks like the tunnel, it's dead. It looks like the tunnel is dead, basically. Exactly. So it's not working. So yeah, so you would have in your machine, you would have to keep Visual Studio Code open. and the port forwarding active. Okay, so that's one way to go. If you want to make this a bit more permanent, so you see, not working. Beautiful, and this is not working either. So let's go back to 3000. Okay, so hello pcampers. So now I have this. So now we're gonna try with some other solution. What other solutions do we have? So we have tunneling, server. What is this? In the difficult way to cross terrain. Networking. Okay. So, all right. So another popular solution that we're going to explore is we're going to explore. Oh my God. We're going to explore is ngrok. Ngrok. So how does N work? Ngrok, your all-in-one API gateway, Kubernetes. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. Ngrok tunneling. Reliable access. Instant access to any system without network pain, no DNS, no port forwarding, no VPN. All right, secure tunnels for developers. So what we've done with the one-click thing in Visual Studio Code, I want to use now a service to create it. So what is ngrok? Use ngrok tunneling, tunnels, ngrok documentation. API reference. Overview, what is ngrok? It's your app's front door. Globally distributed reverse proxy that secures, protects, and blah, blah, blah. Oh boy. Okay. These are all the online tunnels currently running on the account. Ooh. So, okay, so it looks like there's a tutorial here. Easily share your local server. So this is what we're trying to do. But can we do it, or is this tutorial? Okay, so let's follow. Would you like to follow the tutorial with me? All right, so blah, 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 takeaway, blah, blah, blah. What is ngrok? Is mapped to an ngrok IIO. Is local tunneling secure? What does the service cost? Free and 4 tunnels and 40 connections per minute. Okay. $5. To start, open ngrok in your browser and sign up or register. Okay, so I think I have an account. I think I made an account like a million years back. Is that true? I do believe so. Okay. Yep, I did have, oh boy. Okay, so I need to re-verify my account. So I'm gonna ask you for a tiny bit of privacy right now while I figure this. And then let me find where this is. So what I suspect we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to first have a dashboard where we control our tunnels on the service in ngrok, and locally we are probably going to have to install some kind of ngrok app that lives on our system, some agent. Yeah. Yes. All right. So here we are. I am back here. So now connect to an endpoint online, download for Windows. So I don't use Chocolatey. So I'm just gonna install it. Okay. It's okay, download. To add your auth token to the default ngrok configuration file. Okay. So let me install ngrok. Okay. It's actually not an installer, it's an app. Great. Which is great. So how am I going to install this? Well, it's going to be very easy. I'm going to go to my main here. I'm going to say ngrok. All right. And I'm going to drop the executable here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the environment variables. So environment, edit the system environment variables. So those are here. I'm going to do this privately if you don't mind. So I'm going to do it on my other screen. And then I'm going to use a system variable. And then to the path, I'm going to add, this is here, to the path, I'm going to add a new, which is going to be C22, and then ngrok. All right, beautiful. If I do that, what that should lead to is to now opening a new terminal. And from anywhere on my machine, I should be able to access ngrok. Yes, because it's part of my path now. All right, beautiful. So what do I do now? I do two, whoa. I shouldn't be doing this publicly, do I? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to run this. Submit, save to your file, local ngrok, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Authorization token, deploy your app online. Put your app online, add an ephemeral domain forwarding to your upstream service. For example, if this is listening to port, blah, 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 run localhost. Okay. So is that true? Is that just as simple as that? So ngrok http localhost 3000. Tunnel command line specifies a URL with an unsupported scheme. HTTP. Okay, so it needs to do HTTP, and then now, okay. All right, so it looks like this is the link. All right, so I have created the link. So ngrok is can folks verify. Exactly, great. I see some of you are already connecting. All right, and I see you here and I see you here, and you're probably getting the parametric camp thing, correct? Beautiful. So this was pretty painless, I have to say, and it's free, and I get an ephemeral domain, which is good for development. Okay, how's it going? I see people connecting. Those of you who are getting the error is probably because I don't have a favorite icon, a fab icon thing. Okay, so okay, so this was pretty painless. I like it. And you can see it's connecting to my local host. Great. All right, so this was pretty straightforward. I guess if I now stop the service, now you cannot connect. And if I start it again, then I get a different ngrok IP, a different, okay, one that it's Yes, one that is this one, the one I just posted, is basically my public IP and just some string. Why is this so messed up? Okay, yes. Okay, I like it. Interesting, and I see some of you are already connecting. Beautiful. I like when things work out of the box in a painless way. Okay, beautiful. So that was pretty straightforward. And it looks like ngrok has a lot of other stuff that we could explore. So maybe we need to do some videos for that. That would be interesting. Can I log in? Install, secure your endpoint, observe your traffic. Okay, do I have, what is my token? My token is somewhere there. Endpoints, what is this? Right now I have this endpoint going on right now, which is great. Started by me, and how does it know? This is the name that domains, I don't have any domains. TCP, TLS, edges, IP policy, none of this, upgrade, this is all free. Secure tunnels, agents. This is my IP, this is the agent. So this is how I started it, and this is probably some ID, region, whatever, ingress. I don't know what this is, team members, bots, tunnel agents, authorization tokens. I probably shouldn't be sharing this publicly online, right? API keys, SSH, IP account, great. Okay, I like where this is going. So I guess I can have 4 tunnels or whatever. I don't know. So this is great. Now I want to try Cloudflare. Cloudflare tunneling. Cloudflare is a company that does a lot of internet security stuff. I like them a lot. I haven't actually worked with them too much, but I am excited about working more with them. So let's see. Cloudflare. Instead a lightweight daemon in your infrastructure, Cloudflare creates outbound only connections to blah, 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 blah. How it works. Customer browsers, Cloudflare network, example, check configure HTTP and goes into your service, etc. So get started. All right. You need to install and authenticate Cloudflare. You have the option of creating a tunnel via the dashboard or the command line. How do I download? Downloads, overview. GitHub, all releases, Linux, Macs, Winget. I can also just download the executable just like I did right now, Cloudflare, blah, blah, blah. So I have just downloaded on my desktop Cloudflare. Actually, I have it from some testing that I was doing before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to create here a folder and I'm going to call it Cloudflare. I'm going to deploy here the daemon. And then I'm going to add this to my path. So I'm going to environment variables here, environment variables. I'm going to add this to the path, and in the path I'm going to add here, just like I added ngrok, I'm going to add here Cloudflare. Okay. And now if I open a new thingy here and I type Cloudflare, it should access the daemon. Well, it didn't give me an error, so I guess it did something. Overview. Get started. Overview. You have the option of creating a tunnel via the dashboard. Log in to Zero Trust. Okay. Please complete this text survey. I don't want a survey. Choose Cloudflare Zero Trust. Choose your team name. Your team name creates a unique domain for your Cloudflare. Don't worry, you can change this later. García del Castillo. Let's do pcamp. Choose a plan. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Payment method is, what is this? Create a locally managed, that's what I want. Remotely managed tunnel. You need to install Cloudflare and run it. Checks once the command has finished running, your connector will appear in Zero Trust. Create a locally managed tunnel. Locally managed Cloudflare version. Okay. Authenticate Cloudflare, create a tunnel and give it a name. Create a configuration file, start routing traffic. Run the tunnel. But for this, I need to buy a domain. No? Is that true? Add a site publish onboard to onboard your website or application to Cloudflare. Once your domain is active, your web traffic will proxy through Cloudflare. This speeds up and protects websites and services in your prerequisites. Do you have for personal websites that are business critical? Can I add a free website? Is that a possibility? Connect your domain to start or register a new domain. .com. Yeah, I don't want to buy a domain just for this. Log into Zero Trust and go to Networks and Tunnels. Cloudflare 1. Networks and Tunnels. Add a tunnel. Choose Cloudflare. Name your tunnel. Use a scripting name based on the way you want to connect. pcamp test. Save your tunnel. Okay. Configure. Choose an environment. Install. Save tunnel. You will be Cloudflare. Blah, 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 blah. Choose an environment. Windows. Blah, blah, blah. Install and run a connector. To connect your tunnel to Cloudflare, copy and paste one of the following commands. Download this. I have the installer, open command prompt as an admin and run the following command. Okay, so I'm going to run the following command. Installing Cloudflare, Windows Service, agent for... Okay, I have a connector. The next step depends on whether you want to connect an application or connect a network. Okay, next. What am I doing here? Connect an application. Before you connect, add a website, change the domain servers to Cloudflare, connect the network. In the public host names tab, add public host name, enter a subdomain, connect a network, view your tunnel. I think this is asking me to basically have a website fully connected, and I kind of don't want to buy a website just to try this out. Okay. Cloudflare, tunnels, dev, no domain. Is this a thing? Tunnel without domain. Developers, quick tunnels. Developers can use the Try Cloudflare tool to experiment with Cloudflare without adding a site to the DNS. Try Cloudflare will launch a process that generates a random subdomain on try request that will be proxies to Cloudflare network to your web. Okay, this is closer to what I was. Follow this instruction to launch a web server that is available over localhost. Cloudflare, okay. Cloudflare tunnel URL HTTP localhost 3000. Thank you for trying. Okay, thank you. All right. How can I undock? All right. Thank you for trying Cloudflare Tunnel. Doing so without a Cloudflare account is a quick way to experiment and blah, blah, blah. However, be aware that this account, no uptime guarantees, blah, 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 Cloudflare investigate if you, sure. Your question a new your quick time has been created. Thought nitrogen guidance create. It will take some time, cannot determine the full configuration path. Blah, 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 proxy. Well, I guess this is the tunnel. Okay. Yes. So it looks like now this is going to, so I'm going to paste the link on, and I'm going to dock this here. I'm going to dock the other one here. Can any of you connect? I see you are connecting. Are you connecting? You are connecting, and I'm not seeing those here. I'm seeing those here instead, which is fine. Oh. But it is the same deal, right? Yeah. So, would you like, let's see if we can tunnel. Let's see if we can tunnel a Olama. I'm going to stop this. Okay. Remember how we tried Olama the other day? All right, Olama list. What is the cheapest model? Olama run. Let's see if we can tunnel this and make it accessible. For example, this, and I'm gonna stop the server. Okay. All right. Tell me a story, and this is working. Okay, and then remember that we could, when we have Olama running, we can do curl calls to Olama. Olama, for example, Olama, and what are the models? Llama, and can we make like a curl? call. Was there any example here? Llama 3. Okay. Llama curl request example. There was something in the documentations. Okay, I'm going to stop this server. Hey, Lamarash, good to see you here. All right, and then we could do curl. Yeah. Let me open a notepad so that because my visuals, yeah, so we need to do this. It doesn't accept longer multi-line. The stupid PowerShell, this one. Positional parameter cannot be found that accepts. Can I do curl? Yeah, but this curl is different than the actual. So if I do an actual Ubuntu one, can I do this? Fail to connect to local port. Okay. And for Olama, the local port was, sorry, I'm trying things out. This one, for example. This one is what I was looking for. Curl. Actually here, I'm gonna do it here. Curl post model. What is going on here? Connection refused. Yeah, we may not be able to do it from here. Why have I not moved to like a real Ubuntu, like for reals? Can you hear me? Is the sound still going? Yes, it is. What am I trying to do here? I'm trying to make sure that I can use the API. So how did I do that? I forget the way to do curl calls in curl calls in PowerShell. Yeah. And then this is 3.2 latest. And then, so this one, a parameter cannot be found that matches parameter. It's an alias, yes. A parameter cannot be found that matches parameter name X. Really? Oh boy. Invoke web request URI the key value pair and then method post. This is so dumb. Maybe this needs to be data. Oh, what? Seriously? And then here, stream false. I'm looking for beginning of object key string. What? Seriously? Ah, this is so frustrating. I hate Windows sometimes. What isn't it body? Not. Ah, body. Jeez, what was that? Oh yeah, and you get the blob. You don't get the response. Ah, I'm hating my life right now so much. Can we go back to curl? And missing request body. Curl a match brace in URL position. What? So is this a valid JSON or am I making a mess here? Yeah, it looks legit, right? I don't understand. Missing request body. And then here it should be data invalid character A. Looking for beginning of value. Model llama latest. Oh, do I have to escape these guys? Oh boy, I have to escape them. No? Wait. Boy. Why? I'm so frustrated right now. Okay. All right. Curl.x. All right. Exactly. Ooh. Curl.x. All right. Curl help. Or sorry, curl x dot help. Jeez. Do they have a D? Data. Data row. Data ASCII. Data binary. Data row. Okay. Data ASCII. I'm losing it. ASCII binary row URL encode. I guess I need a double. Same thing. Data, binary row, post data. Okay, what if I do raw? Oh boy. I mean, I could just do this and then escape this guy and escape this guy and escape everything. Is that what I want to do? All right, let me. Okay, curl, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to replace every one of these guys with a escape character. So all of this, and then this one is going to be a normal character and a normal character. If this doesn't work, I'm done. I'm trying with this. Sorry. If this doesn't work, oh boy. I, I'm looking for beginning of object key string. I don't get it. I really, really don't get it. And this is getting boring for all of you. And it's really frustrating me. And we're not trying what we're supposed to try. Oh, that was it? Ah. Okay, all right. So this was the correct syntax. You need to escape every single double quote, and then you wrap it with single quotes. Okay. Now, if I create this, let's go back to what I wanted to do, which is let's stop this server. Actually, it doesn't matter. So let's stop that. So now, I have through Olama, I have this model running locally on my machine in this local host, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to serve that through Cloudflare, for example. Cloudflare tunnel HTTP. Was that what it was? Tunneling, networking, tunneling, HTTP, and then Cloudflare try quick dev tunnels. Quick tunnel via zero trust. Tunnel, Cloudflare tunnel, URL, and then HTTP, forward, and then local host, and then what is the IP of the Llama model? 11434. Okay. Requesting new quick tunnel, blah, blah, blah. So hepatitis, Kai, talked Nottingham. Okay. Which gives me nothing because it's an API. So now what I need to do is I want to rewrite this curl call to point to the tunnel that I just created. And it should be this part here. Okay. So, and I want to see if this is going to work. So now I'm going to open another terminal. which I cannot detach, by the way, and I'm going to paste this. And I did not get a response. Can someone try running this from their machine? Victor? I'm going to paste it on. I didn't get a response either. This is weird. Victor, is this working for you? If you're still over there. Ooh. Actually, maybe I can use the API that we no. In fun with AI. Node.js. No, it was web. No, not this one. Code. Okay. So HTTPS generate. I don't need any of these, and I want something that looks like this. Actually, I need to change this. I don't want any. Yes, so this goes here and invalid name. What? Maybe I need to run this as a service. So I'm going to npx serve. Okay, so now this guy. This, we don't need any of these, and then this comes this and request. Oh, what happened to the request? The server responded with the status 403. 403 status is forbidden. Understand your request, but it's denying access to the requested resource. Why? Why am I getting this? Because I can use it locally, no? Okay, am I pointing to the right? 114 11434. Is this where maybe I should create a tunnel that goes directly? Okay. Okay. Cloudflare tunnel URL this. Okay, so if I do that, quick tunnels, and this is going to be Rio pool try Cloudflare. So then this. But the fact that it was working anyway, it meant Interesting. It's not working. So if I do this now and I try the request, I get same thing, forbidden 403. Not great. Okay, can we try with ngrok? So it's not working. And with ngrok, what was it? Ngrok. I'm gonna, sorry. It was this. I'm gonna write my notes here. And with ngrok, what was it? Ngrok tunnel. Oop. Nope. Step by step to your local server. And then it was what? Ngrok HTTP and the port. So ngrok HTTP and the port was this one, right? And then this is, and this is forbidden because you cannot do a GET request. Okay, so the other app, which by the way, let's see. What about this? And then API and then generate. Post, blah, blah, blah. Forbidden. Really? Request temporary redirect. What is going on here? Weird. Failed to fetch. This is very strange. I think it's actually without the endpoint. Without, sorry, the /. Maybe Cloudflare protection mecs are blocking, maybe. This request is forbidden. Weird. So a simple request to the local host looks like this, okay? So this works well. All right, should I? Well, I don't have the option. Yeah. So, okay. So, what if I use a non-secure? Failed to fetch. Error failed. Cross origin. Has been blocked by course policy. Really? Wait, if I do this. Wait, why is this? Why is this not working? Wait, what? invalid name, request parameters, and ngrok failed to execute fetch on window invalid name. It's blocked by course. But why would it be blocked by course if we're doing a request to a public URL? And it's not being redirected here. It's kind of strange. So first of all, can I just redirect a random port? I can. And I guess if I go here, there's just nothing. This is the error that I get, which is, but there was no upstream. So, okay, so it looks like the port is working. Because if I go here, I get a forbidden. Okay, so what if I go to api.generate? Also forbidden, but as expected. All right, and this is the new link. All right, so let's reload here. Let's take a second to llama model. Then it's API generate. Here, nothing. Here, this. And then request type failed to execute fetch on window invalid name. Well, let's just accept whatever encoding, that's fine. And then let's just do this. Forbidden. Why? Wait, what? Options, no content. Set access control allow, but I'm not getting. I am not getting. I don't know that is being the problem. The problem is that when it lands here on no content. No content, no content. I mean, I have a Chrome version that allows course, that it has course disabled. All right. You can try this, but and then this. Nope. Still forbidden. .303. It's forbidden. I don't know what is going on. Which kind of sucks because that's the whole point. What if we did a non-secure? Okay. Olama server returning 403. So it seems IPEX LLM is a shame for Olama to enable Intel GPU, so it's not responsible for the. What does the Edge browser plugin show when 403 the command? It looks like a generic. Hold on. It's a course issue. However, the problem in this case is that the immersive translate extension is sending an origin Chrome extension header, which is not in the list of allowed origins. You can fix it by adding the environment variable Ollama origins Chrome extension to the server. How do you use Ollama behind a proxy? The container contains. Does Ollama send any prompts? Can I expose Ollama on my network? Yes. Can I use Ollama with a proxy server? Ollama runs an HTTP server and can be exposed using a proxy server such as nginx. To do so, configure the proxy to forward requests and optionally the headers if not exposed. How can I use Ollama with ngrok? Ollama can be accessed to arrange to alternative, for example, with ngrok. Okay, so I guess ngrok host header. Okay. All right, interesting. So now, if I do this, it says Ollama is running, which it didn't before. So let's try this. Boom. And then Ollama and blah, blah, blah. What? Ah, this is the course version. Okay. I got course errors. All right. So request is started. Request parameters. Generate. Post. Is it happening? Woohoo! Read the freaking manual. Read the manual. So what is host header? Ngrok host header. What was that? Adding the host header is a special case that represents the existing host header instead of appending a second value. Ngrok's HTTP endpoints enable you to serve APIs. So does that mean that now I can? Okay, so I have this guy working. API.generate. So if I curled this now, do I get anything? Yeah, I do get a response from ngrok. Interesting. Interesting. So, okay, so what is the takeaway here? The takeaway here is that making now because for example, anyone, you guys, all right, I just posted the link on the chat and I also posted the link on Discord. Can any of you try running this curl command from your Windows PowerShell and see if you can get a response from my local llama? All right. I will hopefully see, if you do that, I would hopefully see it here. Exactly. So this is a request, a post request, I just generated it, etc. There you go. Can any of you give it a try yourselves? I copied the entire command. Oh, someone is doing a bad request. Someone tried, but the request was not properly formatted. Let me type it again on Discord. Oh, someone is posting. Oh, and something went through. All right, it looks like someone was able to successfully generate a response from my machine right now. How beautiful is this? This is the beautiful thing of live streaming, right? Okay. So command doesn't work for PowerShell v7 for some reason. Which PowerShell do I have? How can I know? How can I know that? Check PowerShell version. PS version table. Huh. I don't understand this. Do I have version 5? Really? Works on the native PowerShell v5. Developer PowerShell for blah, blah, blah. I guess this is the more modern. Oh, I see. Yes. Yeah, it's working for me in PowerShell 7. Yeah. I don't know. Now, if we connected web UI, we run it locally, we connected it to Olama, and then we piped it, then we could have our own ChatGPT, basically, running on our local machine. Someone is generating, I see it, yes. Yep. I do have, I actually do have the logs, I guess. What day is it today? Today is Valentine's. Oh, happy Valentine's, people, by the way. Okay. I don't know that I get the requests here. Anyway. But, okay. PS, I don't need to escape the quotations. That's great. Actually, that sounds awesome. So, what is the takeaway here? How do we take what we've learned today and put it together into a video or a series of videos? I think this is a proposal. One video could be tunneling in general. So we show what is tunneling and we show the 3 different ways we can tunnel. So for example, with Visual Studio Code, with ngrok, and with Cloudflare. All right. So that's one video. The second video is making the Olama API accessible via a tunnel. So for example, we just do the ngrok thingy with the headers, right? So that can be a second video. And a third video is a project video where we basically deploy Olama locally. We also deploy web UI, we install it, and then we serve web UI from our machine in from our machine publicly using tunnels. And for that, we could use a temporary tunnel with ngrok, or perhaps I could also just buy a domain. I could just buy a domain and then do a redirection from some subdomain using Cloudflare. And actually, I would be interested in doing that because I kind of want to tinker with Cloudflare and domain management, etc. So that could be an interesting project. I think those 3 videos sound nice. Those could be 3 interesting videos. However, we're not going to do that today because I need to go, and I have meetings this afternoon. I have a lot of work to catch up on. So maybe those are going to be the next videos that we shoot sometime in the future. I also want to say I have a really busy next week. So I don't know if I will be able to stream on Friday, which is unfortunate, but yes. Oh, someone is pinging the API. Okay, so we're gonna do that. Okay, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna make 3 videos. One of them is gonna be tunnels in general. The second one is going to be just the API, running the API from a different machine. The LLM API running from a different machine, and then we're going to link these 2 videos. And then the third one is going to be the whole, like, basically building a ChatGPT like interface locally that we can use externally using Olama, Web UI, and then tunneling and making it accessible to the world. Okay, beautiful. That's going to be it. Any questions, comments, things? We're going to record all those videos next time we meet, which hopefully might be Friday of next week. Let me check my calendar. What is my calendar looking like for next Friday? You guys are keep pinging my Olama, huh? I see you. I see you. Oh, actually, I can stream at 9 in the morning, but I may have to cut it short. I don't know if we're gonna have time to record all the videos that I want to record. Well, we'll see. We'll run it by the ear, okay? Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for your help. The fact that you were actually doing this with me and that you were trying my API externally, that pretty much proves how this works. And I wonder if we can do that for the actual recording of the video. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see about that. All right, cool. Thank you very much, everyone. It was a pleasure. And I will see you. What would I see you? Hopefully Friday of next week. Okay? And in the meantime, subscribe, like this video, enjoy the channel, join Discord, say hi, introduce yourselves. You know, all those things that we do in the 21st century with digital technologies and social media and global connectivity. Pretty much the way we have proved it today. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye bye.